What are you doing? Oh, what's it for? It's for Maggie's place. Why do you want to put it in there?
That's why it's Maggie's baby.
Oh, that's good thinking, huh? Why don't you put it in its little stall over there?
Which one is it?
That stall right there.
Oh yeah.
Put it in the other side where Maggie doesn't stand. That's it.
Maggie would say.
Oh, lift it up. It looks dead. Quick, lift it up.
Maggie will say, "Hello, little baby.
Oh,
Hello."
that's very clever, Ed. How'd you even remember that?
Yeah, I know.
You're clever.
I can.
You know how to shut the gate.
Say,
You're all over this.
it's for Maggie's place, Mum.
Why does she need one?
That's why he doesn't need a real baby. He needs a pretend baby.
A pretend baby.
Yeah.
What about when she has her actual baby?
No, not the real one. That's the pretend one.
Okay. This is an issue that we've had for a while. The horses eating the trees. That sort of damage to the tree will probably kill it, and if I let them eat it any further, it will kill it. It's probably a good time for it to be happening because the tree is somewhat dormant, I guess, in the winter, being that it's deciduous. But it is a real issue. This is a coral tree. On the tree over there, we've put some equine mesh to stop them chewing it, so definitely going to have to get onto that. It's pretty severely chewed. I'm thinking it's probably something nutritionally that they need, so I'm going to look into further supplements for them. This fencing is really great. It's a big investment to begin with, but it means that I can keep the dog in here because it's electrified, and also the smaller chickens that could normally get out of a bigger size of square. The squares along the bottom are quite small, so it keeps the little chickens in. My chickens, and what I've found, is that they don't actually get shocked by the electricity in the fence because their feathers must insulate them. So that is a little bit of a problem. Some of the chickens get out, they'll end up back at the house. Where's the house? Can you see the house? Yeah, right there. Right there. They'll end up back at the house. And I'll just catch them again and bring them back down, and eventually I'm sure they'll get the idea that they need to stay down here. The other option is I lock them up in their little cage there with food and water for a few days, and then that sort of re-jogs their GPS, if you like, and they end up staying in here a little better. I've got just a mixed flock down here of the Black Rocks, the Leghorns and the Isa Browns. This is my laying flock. I've also got a few roosters in here. The rooster's more there for protection, and also Ray is in here. Really great investment again, because if tomorrow I decide that I want to move, or if I was renting and I want to move, or you know, I practice rotational grazing with these guys, so I'm moving them regularly to fertilize the ground. The only other issue with this fencing is that in big winds, the wind will actually push it over. It has enough draw in it to be pushed over by the wind. So that on a windy day, I just make sure all the posts are leaning outward, and I just check on it So this week we got to the roosters that we had in the greenhouse growing. These are the first birds, the first chickens rather, that we have done. This means that we now have 7 chickens, geese and ducks in the freezer. These guys were over here for 2 weeks and now they've moved on to greener pastures. When this litter was born, we had friends staying over, and when the runt was born, I'd said, look, if he doesn't make it, I'm not going to bottle feed him. Big mistake. Kevin currently has my tripod for his heat lamp. So if the shots aren't as good as what they usually are, you can blame Kevin. Similar to the horses, the sheep have started to eat my fruit trees. Well, when I say started, they've pretty much devoured all the leaves that were on it. All the fruit trees that I have are deciduous, so it hasn't done too much damage. I hope that they will grow back come springtime, but I'm going to enclose them in some mesh anyway. Some of them I can't even work out what they are anymore because they've been so badly chewed. So I'm going to get that done today. I have 4 here, and then I think I've got another 8 in the other paddock. So I'll get started here. I don't think it's nutritional. I think they just like the taste of them because they have a lick block, which has trace elements and minerals that they need. So. will be a good temporary guard against the sheep and the chickens. But eventually we are going to have these split posts here as a fence. And they'll only be allowed in here when they're lambing or when there's maybe if they have an injury or something. Jacarandas, and those two there are macadamia trees. Eddie and I, my son, we picked up all the macadamias off the ground yesterday. But you can sort of see them. And I think with all that wind that we just had, it knocked a lot of them off the tree, the ones that were ready. There's still a fair few on there that aren't ready. And they just crack open and you find the nut inside the shell. Now these guys did look quite overweight when I bought them, but we put them with the ram 4 months ago in the hope that they would have lambs, and they do look a lot fatter than when we bought them, and they've obviously grown a fair bit. But the exciting thing is, on one of them at least, from a distance I can see its udder, which for sheep I guess would be a pretty good sign because their udders are only quite small, so that could mean that she is either producing milk or getting ready to produce milk. I think it's that one there. That's Barbara. You probably can't see, we're too far away, but that's a good sign. So fingers crossed that we will have some lambs here in a month or so. We're trying to get closer. Sheep, sheep, sheep. Sheep, sheep, sheep. See if I can take a photo. Got wood chip coming for the piglets today, which is good because with the warmer weather the flies are only going to get worse. I'll put some more in the farrowing pen for the mother piglet. We'll go down and have a look at her. I've moved her pen, so the moisture issue is no longer an issue. She's up in the dry and all the piglets are running around happy up in the dry. Big guy. I think it's that boy. Barely the size of him. So big. What's doing, you guys? What's doing? I just want to take this mesh off and just leave the hard mesh behind it because it's all sort of fraying down the bottom and it's a little bit dangerous. They keep sort of squishing themselves between the mesh and the hard mesh, so I want to get that off. One of the roosters that we kept for breeding, he's come to maturity and he's starting to crow. Not that one. You might hear him in a minute. It's very sad. It's a very sad crow. It's very depressing. So Dum, not that one. Dum, there's a lot of roosters around here. Dom concreted this pole in. We decided to go with a set panel system instead of that swing away bar. She's close enough to this side for me to milk her out Maggie's due in within the next week or so. The only time that I'm able to milk every single day at the same time is 5 o'clock in the morning. Dom leaves for work at 6 o'clock, and I need, I think, at least an hour to milk. It may become faster for me, but she's going to have a lot of milk to milk out. My two little boys don't actually sleep through the night that well, so I'm often up in the night a few times, so it's going to be a big adjustment for me, but I'm up for the challenge. We will be practicing calf sharing. It's not something that I've done before, but I've done a bit of research into. So basically, we'll lock the calf away at night time off mum and keep the milk to milk out in the morning. So I won't be milking a whole dairy cow as such, because the calf will still be milking her out. And if for some reason I can't milk her one day, we'll just keep the calf on her, and the calf will drink what we would normally milk out. From what I can understand, if I do that all the time, because milking is supply and demand, her supply will drop and there won't be enough for us to take our portion and the calf to eat some. So it is important that I do milk her every day at the same time, but unlike your commercial dairy cows, I won't be getting as much as what they would give.